Remy, I have a vehicle, but no guide.
Small change of plans, my friend. Tell me, have you ever seen an active volcano up close?
There's no other racing franchise like Forza Horizon. The game has grown from strength to strength, offering unrivaled open-world racing for fans. It is also incredibly accessible compared to the majority of racing games on the market. If you want something tough, then you can pump up the AI difficulty to the max, decrease the driving assist, and you have yourself a challenge. You can also take things slow and let the game help you ease into the challenge with easier drive avatars and some decent driving assist. That is not to say that other games don't have these options, but the Forza Horizon series has found the perfect balance between arcade and hardcore simulator racing. Forza Horizon 5 doesn't necessarily feel like a new game. Instead, it has taken all the great mechanics and accessibility options and tossed them into some new cars and a new location.
Recalculating route in 400 meters. Turn left.
Instead of the overcast hills in the UK, the Forza Horizon Festival is now broadcasting live from Mexico, and there's a lot to enjoy here. The map is smaller, and there's an equal amount of snow, rain, beach and hills to drive across. However, the big change in Forza Horizon 5 is the freedom the game gives the player to create their own Horizon Festival. Instead of being dropped into the festival as a rookie, the game takes place directly after Horizon 4 and follows the already successful career of your previous character. After creating your avatar, the game makes it quite clear that you are the superstar, and your incredible racing career in the UK has now led you to Mexico to participate in another festival. The story works for the most part, and it helps expand a bit on the usual rinse and repeat gameplay approach from the past games. Being the superstar, I was now able to determine the flow of Horizon Festival throughout the game. As I ranked up with XP, I was able to unlock new festival chapters by firstly choosing which main event to unlock and then unlocking new expeditions under each main event. Each new unlocked event triggered new races and challenges to appear on the map. So in theory, Forza Horizon 5 is just an empty open world until you start deciding what races you want to participate in. For example, the street racing was the last event I unlocked. Up until that point, I wasn't able to see any of those races on the map. The same goes for cross-country tracks. They weren't there until I leveled up and decided to expand the festival. These choices helped ease me into the game. Instead of overwhelming me with hundreds of icons, I could focus on the races I wanted to do first and get to the ones I didn't find interesting later. One event also unlocks all the side objectives like speed traps, jumps and stunts. There's also a lot to enjoy here when it comes to the process of unlocking the festival. Each new chapter ties into a story with a character, and I was surprised to see how well fleshed out these chapters are. In one, I started racing a crop plane into a storm. It then crashed into the jungle that also happened to be an Aztec ruin. I then had to drive around taking photos of these statues, climbing the giant temples, and of course finding the crashed plane.
Isn't that you?
Who else? I know just the spot to expand the festival, but the path takes us through the deepest part of the jungle. Do you trust me?
Of course. Wait,
I won't say these chapters delivered amazing narrative-driven experiences, but for a racing game, they weren't that bad. Again, the emphasis here is on how this works and how the game unfolds the history of the land, making this a compelling approach. Of course, everything you do in Forza Horizon 5 will be from behind the steering wheel, and the car roster is massive. Thankfully, Horizon 5 has implemented some great new incentive for firstly driving a specific car, and secondly for collecting as many as possible. Skill points are used to unlock specific perks across each individual car. Some range from free wheel spins to extra XP from skill chains. A few even extended the rate at which the combo meter depletes. I then found myself spending more time behind the wheels of cars I actually enjoy driving and invested my skill points into. My favourite car is definitely the Ford Bronco, and having the extra wreckage XP gain from a skill I unlocked went a long way. The car collection also rewards players for unlocking a specific numbers of vehicles in a brand. These rewards range from XP to credits and more. It sort of acts as a checklist, and while you won't obsess over this at the start of your adventure, it might be that endgame grind we need in the series. I could see myself with 500 plus cars in my garage, racing daily to obtain those last few. If you have played a Forza Horizon game before, this new entry won't come as a surprise. The few additional changes I've mentioned are fun, but the real enjoyment comes from the general gameplay. Hours went by as I raced across the world, sped through speed traps, mastered cross-country tracks, unlocked new car finds, completed each new chapter in the story, and more. Sure, this can be said for every Horizon game, but hey, a new place and new stuff to do should be enough to get you going. Mexico is also gorgeous, and the game running on the Xbox Series X shows its true colors. Of course, Horizon 4 was just as pretty, so don't expect anything game-changing here either. It is pretty to look at, and everything on the screen is incredibly detailed, and the dynamic weather and seasons go a long way to create a unique experience while exploring the land. You can literally screen grab any moment in Forza Horizon 5, and it will look superb. It's just one of those games.
And we have company! Meet my compadres!
I especially loved looking at the cars I worked so hard to obtain. The sheer detail across each vehicle was outstanding, and the massive roster of over 500 cars is a true achievement in game design. I also enjoyed the new Event Lab creator where I could create custom races out of current ones available in the game. No doubt players will go mad over this, and it will provide dozens of hours of unique content to explore. One specific one I've already spotted was a 2-hour race that spanned the outer rim of the map. Each lap would take around 13 minutes, and the event tasked players with 10 laps. This is just madness, but it's still pretty fun to see. Horizon 5 also plays well. As I mentioned before, the accessibility settings can make the game harder or easier depending on your playstyle. I started on easy, and the game noticed I was winning a bit too easy, so then it automatically asked if I wanted to increase the challenge. The tougher you make things, the more credit you earn. Nothing new here. Multiplayer is also fun thanks to the community-driven events. I had to race around in a team and get as much airtime with my car as possible to reach a team goal. We all then had to leap off a cliff to tally the total distance travelled down the hillside. I really can't wait to see the servers full up and these events happening again. Forza Horizon 5 is a familiar playground. If you have ever played any of the past games, you'll feel right at home here. The general gameplay doesn't do much to set itself apart from other Horizon games, and I don't think it really needs to. The recipe works, and right now there's really no other game that can compete with this. It is the best racer on the market, with no one coming for that crown. Playground Games doesn't really need to do anything to change up its formula. But that's going to be all our thoughts on Forza Horizon 5. We really enjoyed our time racing across Mexico. But what do you guys think? Is this something you're looking to pick up? Let us know down below. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider liking and subscribing. And until next time, farewell.